We're going to flick through the French newspapers now. Florence is with us here in the studio today. US debt crisis continuing to dominate the French paper, especially the business ones as well.
That's right. We're going to start off with La Tribune, which headlines, "Yes, we can't." So obviously a play on words on Obama's 2008 campaign slogan. So though the French press has been embracing this New Deal, but they're trying to look beyond and see what it means for President Obama and what the reality of the U.S. economy is now. La Tribune paints a very bleak picture of the U.S. economy, focusing on the high unemployment, showing that manufacturing is slowing down, and that between the government and households, everyone seems to be in debt. And they try to explore why Obama would agree to this deal, and they see it in the run-up to the 2012 election. And this deal kind of upset a lot of the Democrats within his own party, and they wonder whether he's trying to woo independent voters. Now, Les Echos, another business daily, is also talking about this. Their headline is "Growing Doubt Regarding the U.S. Economy," and in their editorial, they wonder if the U.S. is on Greece's slippery slope. They say, okay, the U.S. government didn't hit the ceiling, didn't hit their head on the debt ceiling, but it doesn't mean that the country's federal debt has stopped being a major problem, a problem that's threatening the very foundations of the global economy. And they point that the U.S. has very bad budget habits, and on top of this, the pace of growth is slowing down. All this seems to resemble the situation in Greece, and they wonder if the U.S. could be on Greece's slippery slope.
We're going to do something completely different now. Many papers exploring the EU, its struggle against misleading labels.
That's right. Have you ever wondered if products actually are fat-free, low calories, energy bars that boost your energy, or milk that helps you lose weight? Are these things actually true? Now,
don't believe most of them.
Don't believe most of them. Me neither. Well, the EU is trying to figure out what's true and what's not. They are on a crusade against misleading labels, and in fact, they've adopted a new food label legislation that should be implemented in 2012. Now, this big cleanup is good news for consumer groups who say they're tired of being lied to, and they say that there's so much false information out there about the actual health benefits of food. Now, ever since 2009, the European Food Safety Authority has been exploring the nutritional labels of thousands of products to see what's actually in them, and an article in Le Figaro outlines what their findings have been. So they cross-referenced all these labels with scientists, and they wanted to see what products were actually antioxidant and which ones were good for your bones. And only 20% of the products that they analyzed actually got the stamp of approval. The rest didn't make the cut. Now, manufacturers will have 6 months to adapt to these new laws, so they should actually come into effect in 2013. Now, it's interesting to note that certain companies have already started making changes, such as Danone, the dairy giant, which has started advertising the taste and variety of its products rather than their health benefits.
Excellent. Good. I'm glad about that. Good one there. Now, it's summer here in Paris. It's absolutely heaving everywhere. Lots and lots of tourists. And some of the newspapers are looking at the downside of that, aren't they?
That's right. It's actually on the cover of La Croix, which is the Catholic newspaper, La rançon du succès, the ransom of success. Now, it takes a look at the situation in Venice and at Machu Picchu, and says that there's a pressure of mass tourism that's threatening these very sites. Now, if you look at the cover of La Croix, I think it's very telling. You see a group of tourists there at St. Mark's Square in Venice following a Mickey Mouse. And so that's what this article is saying, is these historic sites have really become amusement parks. And for instance, Venice has 20 million tourists a year. And according to ecologists, this rampant, there's so much transport on the waterways that the Venetian lagoon is actually turning into a bay. Now, according to environmental groups, these sites should concentrate on ecotourism rather than mass tourism.
Very briefly, a sad day for our French viewers. The creator of a famous TV show for children passed away.
That's right. Claude Ledoux, the creator of Bonne Nuit les Petits, has passed away. Now, this was a very popular TV puppet show that came out in the 1960s. It tells the story of the Sandman and his teddy bear, Nounours. Now, it was broadcast right before the evening news to tell children when to go to bed. It was rebroadcast in the 1990s, so it's really a whole bunch of French generations will be sad to hear this news.
Including Florence, she admits.
Including me, I
watch
watched it. I did.
Very sweet. All right, that's it. That's the newspapers with Florence here on France 24. Stay with us.